to another episode of Not Afraid to Garden. So today we're going to talk about my orchid collection that I have. So I know that I've talked about in some of the videos that I've mentioned that I have an orchid collection, and I'm going to wait until they bloom to be able to bring you guys this video. But I couldn't wait any longer. So some of the orchids have started to bloom already, and some of them have not bloomed, and you know they're almost ready, but you're not going to be able to see those flowers for maybe another week or two. But I thought I'd bring you the video before I lose these flowers. Although some of these can last probably like weeks and months at a time, but I don't want to take a chance on that. So I figured that I'd bring you this video now. So let's get started with this. So the one thing that I want to point out with the orchids that have worked for me, actually all of these orchids are in the greenhouse. They're not in my home. For some reason, because again, the orchids need to be in kind of like a steady environment. And you have to kind of prepare that environment for them. So it seems like in here, I can't seem to get that. So, you know, again, you know, we're not perfect. So the good thing is I have the greenhouse, and that has worked for me. So the orchids, they require a lot of light. So as long as you have probably, if you place them near an east-facing window, which gets you a lot of the light, you're going to do fine with the plants. Now, if for some reason that lighting is too much, you can filter that light. They don't like direct sunlight because you are going to burn the leaves. So just keep that in mind. So you can just maybe put some type of shade that will filter that light coming in. And again, you know, as long as they get that light, they're going to flourish and they're going to be fine. So I just haven't actually tried it in here because I don't want to lose any of my orchids. So I know my greenhouse, I control that environment in there better than what I control it here, and that's why I have them over there. So I'm not an expert in orchid, guys, so I don't claim to be an expert. I just love the orchids. So there's no specific orchids that I actually have or look for. Most of these orchids I have purchased from Produce Junction, and you know, it's just a little mart, a little area that, you know, they sell vegetables and plants and flowers and stuff like that. So most of them are from there, and I think one or two may have come from Home Depot or Lowe's. Sometimes they put them on sale after they're bloomed, or when they kind of look a little, you know, like they're on their dying days there. So then you get it for just a couple of dollars, and then I've been able to bring it home and, you know, take it to the greenhouse and rehab it. So that's why I have this many orchids. Now I don't know the exact name of all of these orchids, but I believe, again, don't quote me on this, guys, but some of these could be considered as moth orchids or oncidium, I believe. Something like that. And I think that's what I basically have. If it's anything different, you guys recognize these orchids, you guys can definitely comment, you know, and just let me know exactly if you know the names of each of these orchids. So I'm going to start off with this purple one here. Now this one has been in bloom probably, I want to say maybe for the last like 3 weeks. So guys, as you can see, look how beautiful these colors are. Look at the lines and the little veins on these flowers. And again, orchid flowers, they seem to last. I've had orchid flowers that lasted at work anyway, that environment, for probably like 3 months. Some of these, because all of these, I've had them also in my office. I did bring them back once I started working from home. So so that's this one. And this one I've had probably about, I think most of these orchids I've probably had them over 2 years. And again, orchids, they don't like to be watered too much. You have to be careful because if you overwater these orchids, those roots, you're going to end up with root rot, definitely. So just make sure that those roots are in orchid mix, because the orchid mix, most of it is bark, and these other little tiny particles that you have in there, and they do fine in there. So just give them a little time to dry out before you water that one. And then this one I have here. So I have 2 orchids in this one here. And what I decided, so as you can see, look at that. These are about to bloom. And I don't know what color these are because I didn't label them. So again, you have these blooms that are gonna open up probably within a week or 2 probably. And then if you notice, I actually have these in leca. So pretty soon I'm going to be releasing a, actually by the time this video goes out, I've already released a video that I talk about leca. And then I have these on leca. And again, everything is a trial for me because I've never had orchids in leca. So again, this is my first time, so I'm testing this to see how the orchids will do with the leca. And again, all I'm going to do is, you know, just wet those roots. The leca will absorb that water. It'll expand, and little by little, it'll start to release that water directly to those roots where it needs it. So in this basket, it's actually in the greenhouse, and it's just hung up like this. And I have 2 of them in here. I don't know what colors they are, guys, because I didn't label them. I actually should have labeled that one. And then this one, I didn't label this one, so I don't know the color for that one, for these 2. So this one, I actually have them growing in something different. But look at this basket, guys. Look how beautiful that is. Do you see that? It's a wire basket. Now you know where I found this, right? You know where I picked this up. At the Goodwill. So, which only cost me a couple of dollars, and I did this a couple of months ago. So this one, I actually have it in sphagnum moss, and then I have the cocoa core all around it, holding the sphagnum moss. So my job with this one here is to keep that sphagnum moss moist, because if I allow that sphagnum moss to dry up, again, the plant is going to be thirsty. Just you have to keep that moist. So again, that's an extra step that, you know, that I have to definitely take care of. But it seems to work. So I planted this other orchid just the other day in here also. So I'm hoping that also it's going to take on. The roots look pretty healthy. They're still green. And this one flowered already. And this one, there's no sign of flowering yet. So nothing yet. So also to keep in mind, guys, so again, these stems that the flowers grow in, please don't cut them as soon as those flowers fall off. Only because within those nodes in there, there's a possibility that you're going to get another shoot just come right back out, and the orchid will flower again. So I've done that mistake in the beginning when I first started with orchids. So what I do is, again, I'm going to, actually I have one of the orchids that I'm going to have, I left it on there, the stem on there, just to show you how I'm going to cut that. So, and actually this one here is the color fused orchid. It's probably my most expensive orchid that I have, and I paid $30 for this one at Home Depot. And this one, I'm not sure how they do this, but the way they grow it, this is like a beautiful pink. And then I'm not sure how they I'm not sure if it's a dye or how they grow these orchids, but it was very unusual pink. And that's the reason I purchased that. And I'm wondering if I'm going to get that same pink with the new shoots. So that's something also to experiment and find out, you know, if those colors will come back again on these color fused orchids. So back here I have this one. And this one also have it in that orchid mix. And another thing, guys, the leaves on these orchids, I actually go around and probably like once a month, and maybe once every month and a half, I use neem oil. So neem oil is this oil, it's like a greasy, and you mix it with a part of it with dish detergent and water, and then you spray it on the leaves, and it helps you with any mealies that you might have. You guys have to keep checking these orchids underneath these leaves. Sometimes they get mealies, they get these spider mites, but as you clean them with this solution, once you mix everything up in a spray bottle, and then you spray them and then you wipe them down, and it gives them that nice little gloss on the leaves, plus you're maintaining your plants, so making sure that they don't end up with these bugs, these mealy that are a pain. Now if you catch those mealies in the beginning, you're fine, but if your plant actually gets infected by those mealies, there's a possibility you may not be able to save the plant. So you have to stay on top of that. But look at the colors on this one, guys. Look at the purple on the inside, and all the border is white. And then the center, you see a light purple with a little hint of yellow. So this is a really beautiful one. Then I've got another stem here that is going to bloom here. So again, probably within 2 weeks, that one will finish blooming. And then those flowers, I might end up with them again for a couple of weeks. Now this one, look at this one. This one is orange. Orange mixed with the pink. This one has been in bloom for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, so it's almost near the end of its bloom. So that's why I wanted to be able to bring these videos to show you guys, to be able to show you these flowers before they fall off. And again, this one, this one I have it just in the orchid mix. And then I want to show you guys how to look for those healthy roots when you have these plants in flower pots. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a root in there that's growing out. So you have to keep an eye on those roots to make sure you're not getting root rot. So I do keep an eye on those roots just to make sure that they are healthy. So I am getting new shoots here, so I'm going to end up with a new shoot there. There's another one in between here, so there's another one there. So this one is really loving it in this container with the orchid mix. And again, I did wash the leaves with that neem oil mix, that spray. So my next one here is kind of, so I have, this is actually a money tree. And this actually money tree belongs to Dana, my coworker. So when we were sent home due to this coronavirus back in March of 2020, I actually got permission from my boss to come back and pick up all my plants from the office. So I had a whole bunch of plants there, and I was given permission to go back. So I went to the office, and then I looked around the entire office area, and other people had plants there, and I couldn't leave with leaving them behind. So I made a decision at that moment to just bring all of those plants home. It was without their permission, so I was a little worried. But then after I got home, I sent them all an email, and I was able to, let me see, Carly, Dana, oh my gosh, Carly, Dana, and, oh my God, I cannot believe it that I forgot one more person. All right, I'm going to put his name on the bottom. So now I'm going to get that thinking. It's going to get me thinking. Anyway, so this one belongs to Dana. So her money tree is doing really good. Actually, in the office, we were all worried because, again, it did not look like this at all. So she brought it to the office to see how well it would do. It wasn't doing so well, so I'm glad that I did bring it home. So Dana is doing wonderful here. So then I ordered some seeds from China. And the description of the seeds, it said that it was some type of orchid. So I ordered the seeds, I propagated them, I planted them and everything, and then this is what I got. So this is supposed to be an orchid. I'm not sure what name this is, I have no idea. But look at these flowers that this has. Look how beautiful they grow. So they seem to grow like this stem that grows up, and then you have all these flowers that grow around it. And this gets pretty high up. This one, just for some reason, is flowering very low there. They're very high maintenance, guys, because if I don't water this on time, all of the leaves, everything kind of wilts. So I definitely have to water this constantly. And then I planted a spider plant here and there, just to, you know, again, fill in some of that space there. So this one is Tyler. It was Tyler. I'm sorry, Tyler, I forgot. So I do have Tylers. They have Tyler and Dana. Both of them have Jades. And I had those in the greenhouse also, so maybe another video I'll show you guys what that looks like. But they're in good hands. They're doing really good. Yeah, so that's an unusual orchid. I don't know the name of that orchid. So that's that. And then here is the larger version of that plant. Look at this. This is amazing, guys. I mean, look how beautiful that plant is. I have to say, it is beautiful, but I don't know what it is. I don't know the exact name. But they did claim that this is an orchid. So I have one, which is that one, two, another plant, and three. And I have more in the greenhouse also. But again, these are very high maintenance, because if you don't water them on time, all these leaves kind of hang down, really sad looking. So I have to keep up with these. But they are beautiful. Again, unusual orchid. I consider as an orchid. If you guys have seen this before, anyone, just send me any comments, you know, what you think that this is. And I'll be glad to know actually what's the name of that orchid. And then I bought this plant from Home Depot. It was dying. I think I got this for $5. So I brought it home right away. I put it in sphagnum moss, and that was about, I want to say, 3 weeks ago. And look at the roots growing in there. You see that? And here. So this one does like the sphagnum moss. I don't know what color they are. I have no idea. But just the fact that it's growing. Look how beautiful. Oh my God. I'm in love with this one too. I just wish that they would all bloom at the same time. So I don't know what I would do when that moment comes. And then I have this one here. Again, it's the same orchid. And I took a plastic container, guys, and look at this. This is one of those containers that you get. Actually, we got Chinese food, actually rice in here, I think it was. And then I just cut it in half here. I put a wire to enclose in together. See this? Just put a wire around it. You can't really see it because it's very thin. And then I put it in sphagnum moss. I put in the back cocoa core. And now I have to just, you know, wait and see what's going to happen. Now I know that it's going to make it because a little leaf started growing on the top here. See that little leaf in there? So that started growing in there. That was not there. Plus, I still have one good root in there. So I know it's going to make it. Now, this is the orchid that I told you, this is already, this is at this point that you cut these stems. And I'm looking for a pair of scissors. Hold on, guys. All right. So when it dries up completely, now you can go all the way to the bottom. Go to the bottom and snip it. Okay. So that now is trash. Becomes trash. Now, because I knew that was not going to give me anything else. And then this one here. Look what's happening, guys. Look on this stem here. Right on this node, I'm going to get new growth. So I'm going to get flowers here again. So what I could do right above it, be very careful, snip the dry part. There you go. And now actually it's giving it more strength to focus on here, and that's going to start to grow out, and I'm going to get more flowers growing on there. So it is working, definitely. And again, this is something just a little simple, cheapy little handmade little container, but it works. And my last orchid here, guys, it's a very unusual orchid. So this one is called, this one is a, not forgot, but tip of my tongue. This is a leopard lily. It's actually a leopard lily. Leopard because of the design that it has, the pattern that it has on the leaves. Look how beautiful that is. This is so beautiful. And actually, this was just a little clipping that I bought in a nursery up North Jersey last year that we visited, my husband and I. And this is the first time that it's blooming. So these are the flowers for this lily. So I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to get, let me take a good look at this here. So they're just little tiny individual flowers that you're getting, this little cluster here. So this is the actual flower for this lily. But most of them are plants, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I guess this is the time for them to bloom. So every now and then I do take a piece of this lily and just plant it in another flower pot, because I don't like to depend on just one plant to have. So I try to kind of propagate most of my plants that I have. And I did plant I had some tradescantia. This is the variegated tradescantia. This is Sabrina tradescantia on there, just to give it just, you know, a little something to hang there, a little spill. So yeah, so this is the first time that is blooming. So guys, so here, that's my orchid collection. So again, I wish they were all blooming so that way you can take a look. They're all different colors, but maybe another time I can just bring you just an update on the ones that didn't bloom yet. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Don't be afraid to buy these orchids. I was one that, you know, I've been trying for years. Actually, my very first orchid that I kept and then I kept alive was given to me in 2013. My daughter Amy gave me an orchid. Someone gave it to her. She gave it to me to be able to hold on to it and try to keep it alive. And I still have that orchid, and I want to point out which one it is. I think it's, I think it's this one in here, but it hasn't flowered again. It's one of these two in here that I have in the clay balls in there. So ever since I got that one, because I was able to maintain and keep it alive, it kind of encouraged me to just, go out and buy the rest of these orchids. So every time when I get an opportunity, I just bring an orchid home. And I've had people who have given me orchids just because, again, they can't maintain it at home. So actually, my doors are open for that, guys. So if you guys get any orchids and you feel that you can't maintain them at home and you think that they're going to die, definitely, message me, let me know, and I will definitely just, be able to help you and keep it here. I can keep it in the greenhouse. I can keep it going, make it flowered, and then I can give it back to you if you like it back. So thank you guys for tuning into my channel. So if you guys are looking at my channel for the very first time and you like plants, indoor plants, you like outdoor plants, you're into projects around the garden, this is the channel for you guys. So you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification so that way on the next video you guys are notified. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video.